Ladies and gentlemen, let us embark on this intellectual adventure united by a shared vision. Together, we will push the boundaries of knowledge and create a sustainable future for our industries. Through collaboration and innovation, we will illuminate new paths and drive positive change. Good morning. On behalf of the entire IMI family, my co-compare Janvi Arora and I, Sarabjit Singh, extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests, faculty members, and all of you present here. We are honored to have you in the inaugural session of our Conventus 24, the 13th annual management conclave of IMI New Delhi, to explore how to navigate the challenges and seize the opportunities of our rapidly evolving world. This year, we delve into the theme India's $7 trillion ambition. How will India lead the next global economic wave?
India is on the rise. From the bustling streets of Mumbai to the serene backwaters of Kerala, our nation is undergoing a remarkable transformation. A transformation fueled by innovation, technology, and the boundless energy of its youth. Remember the days of the dot-com boom? Or the recent success stories of Indian startups like Zomato and Swiggy? These are just glimpses of the potential that lies within our nation. Today, we stand at the precipice of a new era, an era where India can truly become a global powerhouse. But to achieve this ambitious goal, we must navigate complex challenges from climate change to economic inequality.
This year, Conventus 24 invites you to explore the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Let's delve into the stories of entrepreneurs who are changing the game, the policymakers who are shaping the future, and the young minds who are driving the next wave of innovation.
Achieving India's $7 trillion economy ambition hinges on GDP, that is, growth driven by people. This vision calls for sustainable growth that empowers industries and SMEs while safeguarding the environment. Inclusivity is key, with the gig economy offering new opportunities for women and marginalized communities. By prioritizing people through better access to education, healthcare, and jobs, India is building a resilient economy, ready to lead the next global economic wave. Together, let's unlock India's full potential and build a brighter future for generations to come.
Now, we cordially invite our Honorable Director General, Dr. Himadri Das, to welcome our esteemed Chief Guest, Ms. Shailaja Venkatayya, by presenting her a token of appreciation and gratitude.
To grace this auspicious occasion, it is an honor for us to invite our distinguished chief guest, Ms. Shailaja Venkatayya, to kindle the ceremonial lamp and illuminate our event with its divine radiance. I humbly request our respected Director General, Dr. Himadri Das, Head of Career Services at IMI, Mr. Amit Abrol, Head of Career Services at IMI New Delhi, Ms. Vibha Kumar, and all the esteemed area chairs to join us in this significant moment. Before proceeding, we would like to present you an audio visual describing Conventus 24.
A nation like no other, with people of unlimited potential, is on the brink of unprecedented glory. The story of India is one of ups and downs, of navigating challenges and managing conflicts, of finding harmony amidst chaos. Now, the stage is set. India has dared to dream, a dream of becoming a $7 trillion economy.
The unstoppable force behind this long journey has been the people of the country. The next chapter in India's history will be marked by
GDP, growth driven by people. The people are the engines of our economy. The key to success for businesses is to convert their potential into purpose. When human resources are empowered and engaged, real value is unlocked and dreams are turned into reality.
it's time to explore the best practices of the businesses that have made a mark by being of the people, for the people, by the people. So, let us be all ears for their stories and ideas and learn from their rich experiences.
We are honored to introduce our esteemed Director General, Dr. Himadri Das. Since October 2018, Dr. Das has provided visionary leadership as Director General of IMI. Previously, his impressive academic career included 6 years as director at prominent business schools, including Great Lake Institute of Management, Gurgaon, and MDI, Gurgaon. In his first innings at IMI New Delhi, he spent 11 years as Professor of Finance and Information Systems, in addition to taking on a variety of leadership roles at IMI, of which 5 years were as the Dean of Academic Programs. Prior to entering academia in 2002, he thrived in the technology industry for 13 years, holding positions in both the US and India. Dr. Das has a highly accomplished academic record, evidenced by a BTech and MBA from IIT Delhi, further strengthened by an MS and PhD from the University of Virginia, USA. Let's extend a warm welcome to Dr. Das as he addresses the gathering today.
Good morning, everyone. I am delighted to welcome Ms. Shalja Venkat Iyer. Till recently, she was the Global CHRO and India Business Head for Incido, and now she is a Senior Advisor to the Co-founder and CEO of Incido. I think it's very appropriate that we have Shalja as our chief guest, representing a company like Incido, whose main value proposition is digital transformation. And as you all know, that is what is going to drive the economy, not just in India, but globally. Now, I'm going to say something I just made up when I was sitting here. So you've been focusing on GDP. I think there is another interpretation of GDP, which is going to drive the GDP you all talk about, where it's GenAI, data and people. So GenAI, data and people is going to drive the GDP. That is the theme of the next 3 days, to that $7 trillion economy. Otherwise, it's not happening. We were chatting in the adjacent room, and we have always known data is the new gold, or data is the new oil, as some people say. And what is going to create a multiplier effect on top of that is the fact that now we have AI, or more specifically Gen AI, married to data. And this combination is going to create a very potent cocktail, which is going to drive growth at rates which we have never seen in the span of humanity so far. I mean, this is going to be a huge inflection point, and we're going to have a steep curve going upwards. and you're all fortunate that you are the right segment of our demographics, right, to make that happen. So the last part of the P that I said, the people, though that's you guys, but it's going to work only if you master the G and the D. If you master the G and the D, then as the P or people, you can make this happen and you can ride this wave. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind. And I'm going to quote, other people might have said it, but Jensen Huang of NVIDIA has made this famous. He has said that AI will not take your jobs, but people who use AI will take your jobs. So keep that in mind. I think it's a very, very powerful short quote. AI will not take your jobs, but people who use AI will take your jobs. So that's the future. And this whole AI piece is going to be sitting on, oceans of data. And if you get these two pieces right, doesn't matter whether you're doing marketing, HR, finance, operations. This is going to be the foundation on which all of these traditional functional areas are built. So don't think that data is only the headache of people who are doing analytics. It is the headache and it is the lever. Headache is maybe a bad word. It's a lever which is going to make you jump multiple times for anybody, not just the analytics folks, but also the marketing, the finance, the operations, HR, anybody you can think of. So I just want you to keep that in mind, because people tend to work in silos and say, I'm doing marketing, I'm doing finance, and somebody else is going to look at the data. It's not the way it's going to work. So the sooner you accept that, the better it is going to be for you and your careers, and by extension, your companies and our country. So thank you very much again. Wonderful that you have organized this Conventus for the 13th time. I was seeing the schedule. It's very well planned. So wish you all the best for the next 3 days. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your encouraging words, sir. They drive us to reach new heights and strengthen our commitment to achieving excellence and success. We are sincerely grateful for your continuous support along this journey. Now, we would like to take this opportunity to introduce our Honorable Chief Guest, Ms. Shailaja Venkat Iyer. With over 28 years of experience in human resources, Ms. Iyer has held leadership roles at renowned organizations including Xerox, Whirlpool, McKinsey, Gartner, and Inseedo. A significant portion of her career, over 15 years, has been with advisory firms where she collaborated with global CEOs to design growth strategies and lead organizational transformations. In her most recent role as Executive Vice President, Global CHRO, and India Country Head at Inseedo Inc., Ms. Iyer was a key driver of the company's evolution from a tech services startup to a high-end technology services, engineering, and analytics firm. She worked closely with the CEO and leadership team to shape the company's culture, build a global HR function, and execute a people supply chain strategy in partnership with McKinsey. Ms. Iyer also served as a board member for CEB, Gartner India, and Inseedo Inc. for over 12 years, contributing her expertise in business scaling, talent management, and organizational development. She holds a bachelor's degree in chemistry honors and an MBA in HR from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, Pune. We are honored to have Ms. Iyer with us today. May I now request her to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. I'm really, it's been my honor that you have decided to call me as a chief guest and host me. So with all humbleness and humility, I thank all of you for kind of having me here. I was talking to Vibha and I was, talking to her about will I have an opportunity to speak? So she said, yeah, 5 to 10 minutes. So, so I wanted it to be a little more than that. Is why I would tell you is because, kind of me as an HR professional or as an industry leader, and Nitin, who is our CEO, we have not just been, I would say, people who have been working to drive growth from an industry perspective, but we have always seen ourselves as very passionate Indians who wanted to put India on the map globally and make a mark. And that's kind of the reason why, a forum like this or a movement like this and a topic like this is really, really interesting because it talks to the passion, that's core to what we have always thought of and what drives us. Yeah. So let me start with, when you think about the 7 trillion opportunity. Yeah. So I think, for the next 10-15 minutes, what I would really do is talk about the opportunity and the call to action, which is building on what, Himadri sir talked about, and then talk about things which are important for you to internalize and think about. Yeah. So the fact is that when you talk about the 7 trillion opportunity and data and AI, right, I think the amazing part of India is its population, the size of the population and the size of the younger workforce, which is amazing. Yeah. And for a population which is very mathematically driven, whether you like it or not. It's ingrained with us till class 12. We kind of study maths and graduation and, post-graduation in many cases. And for a country that is so inclined, data and AI should be very intuitive. Yeah. But it's not. So one of the first things that I would tell everybody is that this data and AI revolution is rapidly coming down the pipe. This is our time. If we don't grab this and make it our own and shine, then we are never going to have another revolution which is going to speak to our strengths as a population. Yeah. So I think that's first point that I would want everybody to think about. Now, why do I say that we need to grab this as an opportunity? Whether we think about technology, whether we think about data and AI, whether we think about Gen AI and whatever it is, why is it that when you have such smart people in a country, all the innovation is done by similar people, but in US? That's something to think about, right? What stops us? So the fact is that an opportunity is an opportunity unless and until you don't get your head in the game. And it's going to be there and it'll see you by. And that, I think, is the biggest call to action for everybody in India, across business schools, across engineering schools. And that's literally been the mantra that we have, and I've played a global role. I kind of talk to people across different geographies. I interview candidates across different geographies. And I think that the smarts, the problem-solving capabilities and the intellect that we have here is amazing. But the only people who hold ourselves back is us. Yeah? So that, for me, I want that to kind of almost be the grounding point or the foundational point that I want everybody to start actively thinking about. Why is it that the most compelling innovations are not generated in this country? Point to think about, right? So that's point number one. Point number two, when you talk about data and AI. So I was just talking to somebody this morning, and he talked about the fact that, hey, I'm in sales, so maybe not that much in data and AI. So we were laughing, and I said, probably alcohol is the only thing that people will actually go to a shop and buy because of government regulation, right? Tell me about another thing that you've not bought online. Everything. If you're in sales, if you're in marketing, if you're in any other business, and half of us are dealing with our employees being in different locations, geographically dispersed, hybrid, you need technology to reach out. You need technology to sell your products. You need technology to differentiate yourselves. In HR, my job in building my brand of my organization is no longer about whether I create brochures and I talk to people. I haven't looked at a printed brochure for a very, very long time. Everything that we do is in social media. Whenever we have to do any post, it is LinkedIn, it's Instagram, it's WhatsApp, it's this, it's that, and whatever it is. So any person who is not on top of that game is not relevant anymore. Yeah? Medicines are being delivered home. And so that's the conversation. Even as recently as a few months back, I traveled to US, and I was talking to some of my colleagues there, Americans, and I said, oh, you don't have Zepto? You don't have things that come to you? And I was like, no, we have everything at the click of a button. And if you're marketing, you're in HR, you're in finance, or whatever it is, that's what you need to solve. Any process, any system. Because if you're in HR, employees want everything quicker, better, faster, and like yesterday. And they want to be able to compare. And they will give you 3 data points that they've gone and Googled up, right? So you have to be ahead of that. If you are in technology, any which way, this is your bread and butter. If you are in finance, everything is going online. If you're in banking, I don't know how many of you have gone to your bank. Please raise your hands. Okay, some of you have. Okay. I haven't. So we were just laughing about it a little while back, saying that I had left my bag behind. And I said, if anybody wants to take it, they can, because there's no money in it. I have a wallet, a nice wallet, but it's either credit card or it's Google Pay. I have stopped carrying cash. So what are we talking about? So what are we talking about when we say that data and AI is not for us? Or it's for somebody else. I'm not specializing in data and AI. If you're not in that space, you're not relevant. That's what I would tell you. And if we as a country are not playing to win in a revolution that is completely programmed for our strengths, then we have lost the moment. And this window is the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah? And the third thing is, why is it that we are great doers, but the innovation sits somewhere else? And that is a point for all of us to think. And so that's the premise I would leave each one of you with, in terms of why is this important? Why is this important? And I'll just give you a little anecdote. In 2018, 2019, I was in Gartner. I had done consulting, I had done advisory services, and so on. And I went to a couple of meetings where people were talking already about automation and robotics, etc. And I came back and I started reading Gartner research. And they basically said that 2018 onwards, there's going to be a revolution in tech, and it is going to shape every part of your life. So I called my corporate office and I said, what are we doing? Why are we not digitizing? And whatever it is, I came up with different options. And they kind of said, no, not right now. This is not a priority. And so I developed that anxiety that if I didn't get into it, then in 5 years' time, as an individual or as a professional, I wouldn't know what I'm talking about. I will not be relevant. And that's the time I shifted to Incido, where I completely disrupted myself. And I got into tech, where I didn't know anything about tech services. Right? I could do that at 40. You guys are way younger. Right? So I think it's really important that you start actively thinking about it. Okay? So that's one. Now let me talk about all of you who are on the cusp, of a great career journey. So couple of things, and this is coming from somebody who is, again, graduated, finished MBA school, graduated from, colleges like yours, and got into the industry. So just 4 or 5 points that I'll just briefly leave you with. I'll try to stick to the 10-minute, So the point that I would tell you first and foremost is, when I talk to students across different colleges, and this is not a year, across years, when I ask them, what is the vision for yourself? What do you want to be by the time you're 35 or 40? People would typically come and tell me that I want to be very good at what I do. Or I want to do something which is delivering value. Or I want to be a subject matter expertise or subject matter expert. Right? Is that what goes on in your mind, right? What stops you from saying that by the time I'm 35, I want to be the CEO of a company? Or the CHRO of a company? Or a chief marketing officer? The number of people who've actually put up their hand and said that to me is very, very few. So my first guidance to anybody is, you have age on your side, you have energy on your side, youth, everything, vitality, intellect, smarts. If you don't have a vision for yourself, what are you doing? You should have ambition. Otherwise, don't be in this game. So, when I was graduating, and this, we all laugh about it. When I was graduating from Simbi, and just before placements and whatever it is, and we all went out pub crawling, right? So we decided, as we were getting high, to write on napkins what we wanted to be. So I basically said, from the time I finish my MBA, over the next 15 years, I want to be the CHRO of a company. I was very clear. I wanted to be a CHRO. By the time I hit my 15th year, I was the head of HR of McKinsey. So what happened was, on our 25th anniversary, one of my classmates, who had taken that napkin and framed it, where all of us had scribbled, showed it to me and said, you were the first person who wrote this. I wanted to be something. At the end of the day, it's your ambition. Nobody can stop you from having an ambition, saying that I want to have a Merck in, when I'm 35, or I want to be the CEO or CFO. It's your dream. It's your ambition. But the lack of a dream or an ambition is unfathomable. So that's guidance number one. Guidance number two is that people feel that once I finish my MBA, I'll get into college and then I'll figure things out. And then we'll do whatever needs to be done, right? Many of you, and then your seniors will come and say कि तुम्हारे पास बहुत time है, don't worry. No, I will change that perception. By the time you start your first job, from the time you enter in through the door, the race has begun. The meter starts ticking. So if you ever assume that people are not making up their mind about you, you're mistaken. See, because we used to have a term in McKinsey called data is perception and perception is data. Yeah? What do you think that means? Anybody? What do you think it means? Green shirt. I don't know your name. What do you think it means? Stand up so that others can hear you. When you say perception is data, what does that mean?
From different industrial perspectives,
No, just decode the statement.
perception is data, ma'am. Nowadays, ma'am, data is the key. So, data is the new oil. So, ma'am, in that manner, ma'am, we can say that data is very valuable in that sense.
How many of you have, yes?
Ma'am, I'd like to add perception we see how we perceive things, and data is helping us shape up our perceptions, and from data we can conclude how people see things and how people perceive value into things. So I
Yes.
think that can be
To an extent, I think that's what. And so many of you would have followed the US elections, right? So there was this shock and awe which happened, oh my God, Trump. He came. But I think this was a fantastic example of this statement. So what I mean by the statement is, when you walk into an organization, people don't know you. You can actually get up and say that I'm awesome. I don't want anybody to evaluate me or judge me on the basis of the way I look, right? People should judge me on my intellect. People should be able to judge me on what I do, and therefore I can wear shorts and I can walk into the organization. It is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, people who don't know you start figuring and making their minds up about you on the basis of how you look, what you say, and what you do. Yeah? So if more people start making up their mind about you, they are developing a perception about you. And more the number of perceptions about you as an individual, that becomes a data point of who you are as a person. So what most people don't understand and don't know is that by the third month in an organization, we've already figured out which are the management trainees or the graduate trainees who are going to lead the curve. Because from day one, we are already observing. Right? So perception, and it's not just my perception. Team members, colleagues, seniors, peers, everybody is a data point. Everybody will have a perception. Everybody talks. Yeah? So first and foremost is, I would basically say that your meter starts ticking from the time you enter. Right? And therefore your race starts from there. So my first point was, have an ambition for yourself and be very dogged about it. After that, you have to pursue it. The second is, your race starts from the time that you're there. Okay? Third part is, what do you stand for? And this is something that I passionately, whether it's policies, whether it's sustainability, whether it's CSR, whatever it is, programs that I support and I drive and I do, is the fact that India is yet to be known for excellence and quality. We are known for excellence and quality in pockets. But each and every person, if we have the kind of almost discipline, the ambition and the excellence, like a Japanese, like when you look at even a single Japanese sword and you see the excellence, and you take that and you multiply it manifold by this population, we'll be unstoppable, right? And therefore, let excellence and let quality become almost kind of ingrained in your DNA. There's no work in progress. Please eliminate that. There's no work in progress. The first draft that you send to any stakeholder, he will judge you on that. He will not say, oh, maybe there's a better version coming. They don't, right? Now, the third or the fourth point that I would actually say is, you're not a subject matter expertise right now. You don't have subject matter expertise. Yes? I have subject matter expertise now, 28 years down the line. But if I get to a new space, it comes down to zero. Yeah? So I'm basically saying that you don't have subject matter expertise. When you don't have subject matter expert and you're getting into an organization, what is going to make you stand apart? What do you think is going to make you stand apart? Yeah?
The grit and willingness to work.
Grit and willingness to work. Awesome. What else? Yeah?
The willingness to learn.
Willingness to learn. Fantastic. I love it. Anybody else? Come on, guys. Tukka maro. Yeah.
The ability to adapt.
The ability to adapt. And anything? Come on, there are lots of things. At a fundamental level, when you don't have expertise, your ability to survive is dependent upon your problem-solving skills. The extent to which you get into a situation, you look at data, you do an RCA, and you come up with these are the possible issues, right? So problem-solving capabilities should be the second. So we talked about excellence, we talked about quality as one part of your DNA. Problem-solving skills has to be the second part of your DNA because it is going to build survival skills. You will learn domain, you will build domain over a period of time, but the fundamental ability to get in there and ask the question, what is happening? Why is this happening? To what extent is happening? What should be the different? What is the gap? How can we address it? Yeah? So problem solving skills is 2. Third, somebody talked about the willingness to learn, right? So when I talk about the willingness to learn, I talk about it as the willingness to fail. Why do you think I say that? Yeah? Absolutely. The biggest learning comes from failure. So every time you go and you run a race and you fall down, you then decide what you're not going to do. Till that time, you run with some hypothesis. The game-changing hypothesis comes when you fall. कि भैया ये नहीं करना चाहिए, इसको छूटने से I will get a current. Right? So the point is that when people actually tell you that, oh my God, try and ensure that you don't take risks, try and ensure you don't fail, I think they're doing a disservice. Own failures, they are your best friends. And most of the people who have, Himadri, kind of Vibha, Amit, everybody will tell you that everybody who's risen has gone through myriad failures, and then you rise on top of it, or you rise out of it. So willingness to learn, and flip it and say willingness to fail, which then makes you agile, that you're reinventing yourself every time you fall. Yes? And agile is, so I've come across people who come and tell me that, oh, my specialization is Python and therefore I don't want to learn Java. Really? I'm trying to learn GenAI and cloud computing and whatever it is at my age. Why can't you learn Java? Right? So the point is that agility, willingness to fail, problem solving skills, okay? And finally, I would actually say that the only thing which will help you survive, finally, is your learnability. Why do you think learnability is going to be like the top? It's somewhere connected to problem solving. Why do you think learnability is the key? And it's somewhere connected to the topic that you're talking about. Now let's look for somebody else. Yes?
The more you learn, the more you will be adaptable and the more you will be able to think about the problems.
No, I think that's a cliched answer. You are on the right track though. I want somebody else, ma'am. Yeah. So either you volunteer or I volunteer you. So please do that.
So just as the person who spoke said, learnability is the key. The more we learn, the more we get to know other things, and the more we adapt ourselves, as the world is changing and we are living in a very dynamic world. So we need to keep ourselves open and learn new things.
But why is it number one? Why is there a burning platform? Yeah. Thank you.
What I feel is, the more we start learning, the more we realize that there's actually nothing that we have actually learned. So what I feel is that's the hunger which keeps us alive. That it's for the quest of getting to that point where you know that you know something in this world and you can survive.
Yeah. So look, at the end of the day, I don't want people to think about learning from a very romantic point of view. It's amazing, whatever it is. I'm connecting it to your topic, and I'm connecting it to the comments that Himadri talked about. Yeah? So tell me, how many of you still use Blu-ray discs and watch CDs? Which you used to watch a few years back, right? How many of you still kind of have pen drives? Oh, you do? Okay. Great. Again, let me talk about ATM card, going to the retail outlets. I haven't visited a retail outlet for a very, very long time. So the point that I'm trying to say, why am I saying this? I'm saying this, learnability has to be your key arsenal, is because of the speed at which technology is pivoting. So when I started off in Incido in 2019, not just 2019, 2018, 2017, etc. There was this surge. Data scientists were worth their weight in gold. And everybody said we need people to do amazing diagnostics. And we need people to come up with insights, and that's going to be gold. Right? In the next almost 2 years, that shifted to data engineering and data architecting. So the more you're on top of your data, the more you kind of organize your data better, the more you're able to analyze it and get better at it. So the fact is that every 6 months, whether you've realized it or not, there is a new trend which is coming, technology is pivoting, economies are pivoting, priorities of firms are pivoting, and I will go as far as saying that any company which says I've created a 5-year plan and this is the 5-year roadmap that we are on is smoking something. In Incido, we aspire. We basically have a vision of where we want to get to, and what we want to do, in the next couple of years, $500 billion, $1 billion firm that we want to get to. How we're going to get to that roadmap changes every 6 months. So you have to have the ability to fail fast. Discard the ideas which are not relevant, go after stuff which is relevant. There's nothing like version 1.0 or 2.0. You have to have a version 0.5, and then you kind of change it as soon as you think it's not relevant and something else is happening. Yeah. So learnability basically means that you stop getting wedded to something and you kind of reinvent yourself every quarter, every 6 months, change your priorities, and you live. That is going to be your life. I have another, 10 years, and then I'm out. It is going to be your life. So if you don't have learnability, then how will you survive? So that's what I was talking about when I said that let me remove the romantic notion out of it. Yeah. So if I were to step back and summarize, the first thing that I've talked about is data and AI is coming down the pipe. We all have to get our head in that game, irrespective of the domain and the specialization. You will have to live your life in social media, on technology, and sell your products in technology, and you have to have data and everything that you need to kind of survive and live and grow and whatever. So that's the game that you have to play, right? Second part of it is that if we have a $1 trillion economy or whatever it is that we want to go after and become the foremost super economy in the world, each and every person in this room and outside in this country needs to have quality, excellence, almost instilled in the DNA. It has to be the way we work. There's nothing like work in progress. Yeah? Now, if you want to see examples of work in progress, just take the flyover. Okay? Take the flyover from, let's say, Rautularam Marg to cross the Munirka flyover. It's a fantastic flyover, 2 years old, but the number of potholes and whatever it is that have been filled, bumps in the road. Why is it that a 2-year-old flyover needs to look like it's been constructed 15 years back? That's what I call about excellence. So everything that you have to do has to have that excellence. The third part is, from your point of view, when you think about what is required for you to be ready, you need to have ambition. If you don't have ambition and drive and persistence and resilience, then don't get into the game. This is going to be brutal from here on. Yeah? Because for us, life moved in years. For you, it's moving in quarters. Yeah? So you have to get in there. You have to have some game plan. And the fundamental aspect of the game plan is problem solving skills. Willing to fail. Fail fast. Resilience. Learnability. Those have to be the other competencies that you build in yourself. Right? And finally, I will end with one small analogy. So when I was a management trainee, kind of our CEO was talking to us, and he kind of said, you have to choose whether you want to be an eagle or a falcon. What is the difference? Both of them are fierce. Both of them are hunters, right? They're very, very aggressive. What's the difference between an eagle and a falcon? Anybody? What's the difference? What is a falcon? Belongs to the bird family, right? Yeah? What is a falcon? What does a falcon do? Come on, guys. I hear some whispering happening there. So anybody wants to take a shot? What does a falcon do? Many of you can also Google, you know that, right? I'm not stopping you from Googling anything.
Generally says soaring high is the nature of a falcon.
Yeah. Both of them are hunters. Like I said, both of them are hunters. Now the difference between an eagle and a falcon is this. A falcon is tameable, number one, sits on somebody's hand, and the person who owns and drives the falcon points the falcon in the direction of what he wants the falcon to achieve. Yes? And then removes the falcon's cap, and the falcon goes very targeted. Whereas the eagle actually soars, kind of very, very high. It actually evaluates the landscape and decides what it wants to target. Right? So the difference between the two is, are you going to be a leader or are you going to be a doer? कि तुमको दिमाग इस्तेमाल करना है कि नहीं? Yeah? Are you going to excel at executing what somebody else wants you to do? Or are you going to build your own job description? Right? So I'm not saying that you break the corporate, games, or you kind of the corporate structure and you say, okay, I'm going to do something of my own. No. What I'm actually saying is, when you enter into a corporate world or you enter into an organization, at the end of the day, your ability to grow is completely dependent upon your hands. If somebody says, I will help you grow, it doesn't happen. So you have to chart your career. You have to say that, look, I want to grow. You have to put your hand up for initiatives. You have to own, you have to drive, and you have to push really hard. And don't allow somebody to tell you about what you can do and not do, because that no longer exists, right? So I'm at the end of the day, I keep telling people, build your own job description. Come and tell me what you want to do. And you'll be surprised the number of times when you ask for something, it is actually given. Yeah? And so I've been thinking about what is it in terms of key messages that I would want to share with you when I come. But these are some of the thoughts that I feel very passionately about. And mind you, this is not the first time. For the past 4 or 5 years, every college, every person that I meet, I give them the same, kind of 2 cents, if you will. This is your game. This is India's game to lose. And the fact is that it cannot be only the leaders or, corporate leaders or academicians or whatever. Every person in this country needs to get into this game and needs to play to win. And therefore, every person matters, right? And each and every one of you is going to play a role in making India that country, which is a superpower. But more importantly, each and every one of you can be that leader. So don't let anybody tell you that you cannot. And for you to be a leader, you need to have an ambition for yourself, right? And the last thing that I always will leave behind with people is, think of your life as a bank account, right? The more you invest in yourself, hard work, capability, grabbing opportunities, initiatives, and whatever it is that you do, it's like a bank account which delivers many-fold compound interest over a period of time. If you say that the first few years, I'll take it easy and then I'll start getting into the game, by the time you get into the game, you don't have anything in your account. So you want your account to start delivering value for you by the time you're 20, 30, 35, for you to be a senior leader. That means what you do right now matters. So every year counts, every month counts, every quarter counts. So don't lose this opportunity. Time will never come back. Yeah. With that, again, congratulations for Conventus. Thank you so much for having me here with you. It's been a pleasure, and I've shared my thoughts. Happy to connect online, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, whatever, and address any questions anybody has. But again, thank you so much, and thank you so much.
We extend our sincere gratitude for your insightful speech, ma'am. Your words have broadened our vision and ignited new ideas, especially about changing our lenses and look at Indian population as an opportunity and not as a burden on Indian economy. One day, as you mentioned, will surely make India known for excellence and quality. Moving on, we would like to request the General Secretary Clubs of the Student Council, KSS Rohit, to share a few words of appreciation on behalf of all of us for the invaluable insights provided by our guests.
A very good morning to the Honorable Chief Guest, distinguished dignitaries, respected faculty members, and my dear students. We are truly grateful to have such a presence with amongst ourselves for Conventus 24, and on behalf of the entire IMI fraternity, I would like to thank Ms. Shailaja Iyer for gracing us with her presence. Our heartfelt gratitude goes to the support provided by.
Thank you so much, Rohit. It is our esteemed pleasure to invite our esteemed Director General, Dr. Himadri Das, to the stage to present a token of gratitude to our esteemed Chief Guest, Ms. Shailaja Venkatayya.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude the inaugural session of Conventus 24, we express our sincere gratitude for your insightful participation. We hope this session has ignited your minds and inspired you. We look forward to the continued journey of knowledge and innovation together.
My co-convener Janvi and I, Sarabjit, representing the vibrant student community of IMI New Delhi, would like to express our heartfelt thanks to all our guests, speakers, professors, students, and the staff for making this event a resounding success. We kindly request our guests to proceed to a lobby area. We also request the audience to kindly brief seated for a brief moment. Wishing you all a productive and successful day. Thank you for joining us.